The national chairman of APGA, that's Sly Ezokenwa, joins us now to review the claims of Anambra State Governor Charles Soludo that the party will not present a presidential candidate in endorsement of President Tinubu as its adopted candidate ahead of the polls. Good afternoon and many thanks for joining us on Newsday.
Yeah, good afternoon, Cynthia, and I'm quite thrilled to join you this afternoon.
Of course. So based on the foundation of APGA,
Yes.
It was founded on Igbo political identity and self-determination. How do you justify to your base the decision to hand your presidential slot to a Yoruba man from the APC?
Now, let me tell you, Cynthia, that you're mistaken about your analysis of APGA. I doubt if you have seen the manifesto of APGA. Because if you have seen the manifesto of APGA, you're not going to make the statement that you made. Remember, APGA is a political party, is a national political party with officers across the 36 states of the Federation. And so it is very difficult for you to come and say, yes, that APGA, of course. At formation level, APGA was a product of what the founding fathers at that time decided that because they believed that Ndigbo really has no say in the politics of Nigeria, they came together and said that we need that political platform that we can use to articulate our position. This was the position in 2002. But at the same time, APGA understands that for Ndigbo to be active in Nigerian politics, they have to play a role in such a way that their voice must be articulated and heard through a platform. Now, from 2015 to 2027, because this tenure, by the time the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu comes to an end in 2027 for the purposes of the first tenure, it means that we would have been out of say in our country for a period of about 12 years. And the national leader of the party, Professor Charles Soludo, CFR, believes that for us, it will be self-defeatist for us in Ndigbo to continue to play opposition politics, because for us to get to the forefront of Nigerian politics, we need some sort of alliance. We need some sort of handshake across the Niger, because the Igbo man on its own cannot really make the presidency without some sort of alliance with our brothers either from the north or from the western region.
You're making
and that's what we are saying.
Decision, it makes it even harder, wouldn't you say? With this decision that you're making by not fielding the candidate, doesn't it make it harder?
Why don't you listen?
I'm
if
listening
you listen,
to you.
You actually understand my point.
This
is one. I'm coming. No, it's not contradiction. The problem, as I said, you need to listen. As progressive, remember I told you, political parties have what we call ideologies. If you go to the manifesto of APGA, you see the ideology of APGA as a political party. And our ideology primarily is founded on progressivism, which is the ideology that we share with the All Progressive Congress. Now, we're saying that if you look at the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President, look at the manifesto of APGA, and look at the manifesto of APC, one thing is common. What we share in common is the progressivism that we all profess, that at the end of the day, the most important thing is that we entrench progressive ideologies that is going to better the lot of Nigerians. Now, what we are going to do as a political party is that we align with Mr. President because we believe that based on the coalition or the accord that came into force before the 1999, when we said that there is rotational presidency, 8 years for the North, 8 years for the South. And the best thing for us as a political party that serves our interests is to align with the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
You
Remember,
just said,
a member of APGA is a minister.
Mr. Ezokenwa, you said the best thing for you as for your political party, for your own interest. You just said for your own interest.
Yes.
If you're so blown away by the ideology of the APC, then why don't you just have this merger so that you can be one and inseparable? Isn't that the ideal thing to do?
And I'm still telling you that that is one of the options. Either you merge or you retain your separate existence while still having an accord. There are two ways of achieving the same result.
I think we understand the point you're making, but it still stands that the fact that you feel and the party feels that an Igbo man cannot make a presidency without any type of alliance that destroys its original identity is quite sad. It seems like a backwards ideology, some critics would say. But was this decision reached through
no, of course, like you said, some critics would say.
Was this decision reached through a consensus at the National Working Committee, or was this a top-down directive from the House? Who exactly came up with this genius alliance? Briefly, because we're out of time.
First of all, the NWC members on the 16th of March reached a decision and formalized and ratified that that policy, which had been in existence for the past 16 years, is still in existence, and there is no need for us to repeal it, especially when we see that the president is really in firm accord with APGA, and there is nothing, absolutely nothing, that will lead to the reversal of that policy. So we are still very much in line and in sync with the policy that APGA as a political party stands aligned with the APC, which is the party that formed the government at the center.
Well, I wish you good luck with that. The national chairman of APGA, Sly Ezokenwa.